welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, as you can see in the title down below, I'm gonna be sharing with you all my labor and delivery story. I know it's been a year since Elizabeth was born, but back then I'm not vlogging or I'm not making any videos. So anyway, I like watching this kind of videos before when I was pregnant because I like listening to other moms and their experiences. So now it is my turn to share to all of you my story. So without further ado, let's get started. So first of all, the hospital that we chose has 4 or 6 different OBGYN, and the hospital recommended that I meet each one of them during my prenatal appointments leading up to birth. They suggested this because depending on what day and time I would go into labor, I had a chance of any one of them being my doctor. And one thing I learned watching this kind of videos before is that if you just see one provider your entire pregnancy and then you go into labor and your doctor or your OB is not available or out of town, it is kind of stressful. And that's the last thing you want to happen while having contractions. So anyway, we also attended a birthing class together with my in-laws because Jim's mom would be my doula. So if you don't know what doula is a person who provides a emotional and physical support during your pregnancy up to childbirth. So my expected due date was February 22nd, 2020, and I was 39 weeks and 4 days at this time. And so on February 18, I woke up around 11:30 at night to use the bathroom, and then I couldn't go back to sleep. So I decided I'm just gonna play with my phone, and then my husband woke up because he thought that his snoring is keeping me awake. So he transferred to the other room and told me that he's just gonna leave the door open just in case I need something. It was around 2 a.m. February 19 already when I start having a period cramps, which is weird, and I'll try to ignore it, but then again, it seems like it's so uncomfortable. So I decided that I'm gonna switch position because I thought that might be the reason why I feel like discomfort in my lower back. So a little backstory: when I was young, I fell down the stairs while holding with my brother. So every time I have my period, my lower back hurts. So I was sitting in bed when I feel like a trickle of water coming out. And like I was thinking, what the heck? Did I just peed myself? So I get up and I went to the restroom, and I was thinking it can't be my water breaking because it's not like a gush of water coming out just like in the movie. So I decided I'm just gonna change and get some sleep. But then the period cramps became consistent, and I decided I'm just gonna track and start timing it. So I pulled out my tracking app and start recording, and it was like every 4 or 5 minutes. And according to the birthing class, once your contraction is every 5 minutes and lasted for like a minute for an hour, you should go to the hospital. So I was thinking it can't be because my contraction just started, and it feels like I'm just having a period, and it's not that bad at all. Still debating if I'm gonna wake my husband in the other room or not, but then again, I don't want him to miss something. So I said, screw it. It was around 4 in the morning when I started yelling at him, and I told him like, hey, I think I'm having contractions. So as soon as he entered our room, I showed him my app, and he can see that my contractions is every 4 or 5 minutes already. So he said, it's time to go to the hospital. And I said, you know what? The pain is manageable. So let's stay calm, because they told us in the birthing class that once you're a first-time mom, your labor could take up 12 to 24 hours. So he's like, we need to call the doctor. And I said, no, not yet, because they might send me back home. So I said, you know what? Let me just take a warm shower. It might help with my cramps. So I was able to put some like eyebrows on, and you know, Kilay is life, because just in case we are going to the hospital, at least I look somewhat normal or somewhat presentable, because I know for sure that we were gonna take a whole lot of pictures, and if my legs were gonna be up in the air, at least my face looks good, right? So I just asked my husband if he could make me a warm coffee. That way, when I'm done taking a shower, I have something. I have something warm, which is not a good idea because I threw it all out. So around 5 a.m., my contractions is like every 3 minutes, and it's pretty consistent. So I said, I think this is it. So my husband called the hospital, even though I told him not to, because my reasoning is they might send me back home. So my OB said, yes, just come in so we can check you. And then after my husband called the OB, he called his parents too. And it was like February 19th, and it was my mother-in-law's birthday. So my husband is like, hey, I have a great birthday present for you. And my mom said, like, is Elizabeth coming? And she said, like, our bag is already packed, and we are going to start driving up immediately. All my hospital bags were packed when I was 7 months pregnant, because just in case something happened, we are ready. And for some reason, my husband decided to pack some stuff or some things, which at that moment I'm not paying attention. So around 6 in the morning, when we decided to leave the house, and it was like 20 minutes drive, and the hospital that we chose is huge. I mean, like, if I remember it right, we need to take like 3 elevators, and the labor and delivery is on the 9th floor. So I know that I can walk, but I decided I'm just gonna use a wheelchair. That way I don't want to have a baby. I don't want to have my baby in the hallway. So as soon as we arrive at the hospital, they ask a bunch of questions, and they bring me to this room where they check if it was my amniotic fluid, and they also did a cervical check, and the nurse told me that I was already 4 centimeters dilated. And since I'm progressing pretty quickly, they're gonna let me stay, thank God, because I don't want to go home. And so we went to the delivery room where they connect a monitor to my belly to check my contractions and the baby's heartbeat. So at this time I was pretty exhausted, like I just want to take a nap. But before I took a nap, I was able to call my mom in the Philippines, and I asked her how long is her labor when she had me, and we were able to talk for a little bit. And then I decided that I need to hang up because I need to take a nap so I have energy to push this baby out. Then the nurse asked me if I want an epidural. So I know in myself that I can make it without epidural, but the thing is, I don't know how long I'm gonna push this baby out. So I said, yes, I'll take the epidural. And so she checked me again, and she told me that I was already 9 centimeters dilated, which I thought she's not gonna give the epidural because I am so close to 10 centimeters and I'm gonna start pushing. So it was like 8 in the morning when the anesthesiologist arrived and ready to give the epidural. So he asked me to sit on the edge of the bed and told me to curl myself up and don't move. And I look at my husband and I told him, can you just please take a picture because I want to see how big and how long the needle is. And he is like, he can't take it, but he handled it pretty good. And as soon as I have the epidural, I feel pretty good. I don't feel the pain anymore. I am so relaxed. And this time my in-laws arrived and we were just waiting for the right time to start pushing. So I was laying on my side when the nurse said it is time to start pushing. At this time, I was very, very calm. I don't feel the pain and I'm not scared at all. I have a good support system, so I am all set. And like I said, they asked a lot of questions and they let me sign a consent form about the risk associated with a vaginal delivery, and they discussed that sometimes they need to use a tool like a vacuum or a forceps or do a C-section just to save the baby and the mom. So when I start pushing, it was like one nurse at that time and I feel pretty good. I'm doing great. And then all of a sudden, the nurse said, I need to call a doctor. And the next thing I knew, the doctor and 3 or 4 nurses start running into our room. And we were like, what was going on? And like, they finally explained to us that every time I start pushing, Elizabeth's heart rate is going down. So the doctor put some blue sheets in both my legs, like they're ready to do a vaginal operation. At first, he used a forceps 3 times to like move the baby's head, and then he used like a vacuum 3 times. But for some reason, the baby's heart rate kept dropping each time. So eventually, the baby's head was delivered, and then the umbilical cord was wrapped around her neck. So they need to like double clamp it and then cut it prior to delivering the shoulder. And then once the umbilical cord was cut, they were able to deliver Elizabeth with no problem. And then she was born around 8:55 in the morning and weighing 7 pounds. And they immediately placed her in my arms, and she looked at me dead in the eye, and she is so pretty, and she recognized me, and we just stare at each other for what seems like forever. And that's the most beautiful experience of my life. So the doctor told me that they did a episiotomy and I had a 2nd-degree tear. Then we transferred to the recovery room and was able to celebrate my mother-in-law's birthday, and we had champagne. I ate a bunch of sushi, and from then on, our life was changed. We can't imagine life without Elizabeth. She just brings so much joy and happiness in our lives. So that's it for today's video, guys. I know it's a little bit long, so if you enjoy this, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. See you in my next one. Bye.